Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In the first part of my speech, I spoke about the ban on social media for under 16s that it is being proposed by the Australian government. In this second part, I will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of such a ban and whether or not it can be effective. So the next important question we need to ask is whether or not this ban is actually needed. In recent times, many parents have been speaking in the media in Australia about the damage social media has done to their children and to their families. Many parents report that their children are more anxious because of social media and that cyberbullying is ruining their children's lives. Platforms that emphasize likes, followers, and public validation can foster unhealthy comparisons and a distorted sense of self-worth. Children, especially teenagers, are particularly vulnerable to these issues. At a time when they are still developing their sense of identity, social media can provide both positive reinforcement and negative pressure for children. The constant exposure to ideal versions of others' lives can make children feel inadequate or disconnected from their own reality. Teenagers are particularly vulnerable to the pressures of online validation, comparison, and cyberbullying. The internet is not always a safe place, especially for young people. Issues such as exposure to inappropriate content and online predators are real dangers. A ban on social media for under 16s would help to mitigate these risks, ensuring that young people are not exposed to content online that they may not be equipped to deal with. Those in favor of the ban also say that social media, while it is a powerful tool for communication, can also hinder face-to-face interactions. They say that by banning social media for younger teenagers, we will be encouraging them to engage in more meaningful in-person relationships, and that this would improve their communication skills and lead to deeper, more authentic connections in the real world. Parents also report that social media is a significant distraction for their children. Many young people spend hours and hours scrolling on their phones, and this can lead to decreased attention in school and reduced academic performance. Without the constant pull of social media, students could potentially channel more energy into their studies, into their hobbies, and extracurricular activities. For many people, therefore, it seems like a given that social media is negatively impacting children. But what does the research say? Is social media really to blame for problems that children and teenagers have nowadays? Two researchers at the University of Oxford in England analysed data from surveys on mental health that was gathered in 168 countries across 18 years, and it found that there is no direct causal relationship between the introduction of the internet and well-being of young people. So even though it seems kind of unbelievable, the latest science seems to suggest that a child spending more time on social media doesn't necessarily mean that they will have a lower life satisfaction. There's actually very limited solid evidence that demonstrates that social media causes mental health issues in children. Without establishing such a direct link, a causal link, a ban seems like a drastic measure, especially considering the benefits of social media for young people. These benefits include communication with friends, staying up to date with current affairs, researching topics for school, and expressing themselves and finding like-minded people. Whether or not such a ban is needed, the question also needs to be asked if a law like the one proposed in Australia can even be effective. In truth, There's really no way to evaluate if such a ban would be effective because it would be the first of its kind in the world. One example we can look to that is somewhat similar is a law that was introduced in South Korea in 2011. The country became very worried about children using social media and online games, and so the government prohibited children from using the internet between midnight and 6 a.m. They spoke about fears about children's mental health, their sleep quality, and academic performance. The ban was in place for 10 years, and during that time, the results became clear. It had practically no effect at all. It did very little to limit internet use. It only saved children about 2 minutes of sleep each night, and there was no change in test scores. However, this ban was only at night, so it doesn't give us a direct indication of whether or not a blanket ban would have the desired effect. There are many people who argue that the ban could actually even do more harm than good. Many experts in Australia are currently arguing that a ban like this would actually only delay young people's exposure to apps like TikTok and Facebook instead of teaching them how to navigate online spaces. They argue that rather than blocking access, we need to take a balanced approach and create spaces that are appropriate for children. We need to help them to build digital literacy skills, and we need to protect young people online. Social media offers young people a platform to voice their opinions as well. It allows them to express creativity and engage in political conversations. Many people are arguing that teenagers would be deprived of opportunities to engage with society and get involved in activism if the ban were to go ahead. This would even infringe on their human rights. Social media is increasingly used for student activism, and it allows teens to connect with like-minded people and to be informed about global issues and to mobilize for positive change. A good example to illustrate this is the school strikes for climate started by Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg was just 15 when she started these school strikes. If she had been living under a ban, she would never have been able to spark a wave of protests amongst young people across the world demanding action on the issue of climate change. Many people are also highlighting some of the potential negative consequences of a ban on social media. It could lead to teenagers becoming more isolated. In today's world, everyone is connected, and social media has become a significant part of life, of social life. A ban for under 16s could leave young people feeling excluded and out of the loop on certain discussions and conversations. A ban could also see children and teenagers being pushed onto unregulated and dangerous platforms. A paper published by the University of Melbourne argued that the ban could do more harm than good, and they pointed out that at a time when school teachers are reporting that boys are being targeted and indoctrinated by misogynistic influencers, banning them from mainstream social media risks pushing this group, which is full of impressionable young boys, onto even less reputable platforms where they are even more likely to be exposed to toxic content and ideas. Teenagers themselves have also been speaking out about the proposed ban. They've been making the very valid point, in my opinion, that lawmakers imposing the ban lack the perspective on social media that young people have gained by growing up in the digital age. To conclude, social media is an integral part of our world, and banning it for under 16s would only delay the development of critical digital skills. There is an element of kicking the can down the road here, as young people will have to learn these skills eventually. In a world where technology is everywhere, the ability to navigate social media platforms and understand digital communication is essential. I think that it's better to learn these skills over time as we grow, similar to the way that we learn how to engage in conversations and behave in social settings in real life scenarios. We learn these as we go rather than all at once when we're a certain age, 16, for example. While protecting mental health and promoting safety are critical, we must also consider the importance of allowing young people to grow and develop in the digital world. The solution, therefore, may not lie in an outright ban, but in creating more robust education, better regulation of platforms, and tools that allow young people to use social media in a safer way. Ultimately, in my opinion, the decision should be about finding balance to ensure that young people can enjoy the benefits of social media while minimizing its risks. It's really quite a delicate issue, and I certainly think that it will be very interesting to see how it goes in Australia if this ban goes ahead, and to see if Europe wants to follow suit. Thank you for your attention.